Hey guys, Tommy Carrigan with Tommy Untamed. We've got a great show coming up. Thank you for watching. Doctor, PhD astronaut, male model, 55 gold medals if I'm correct. Artist, entrepreneur, hedge fund investor, honorary professor at I think both Yale and Harvard, and also in the side writes books. Doctor, Prime Minister, astronaut, Captain, Admiral Clay Martin. You guys can go to the description, follow him on Twitter, and you can buy his books. The most recent of which I believe is Barbarian Spirit, but you've been on for that. Wrath of the One to Go, Prairie Fire. I don't think we ever did, but I had read, I think, Concrete Jungle. Um, yeah. So, Doctor, President, Prime Minister, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I should mention those 55 gold medals are all from the cock Olympics. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Have you ever
yeah,
se-
yeah.
have you ever seen the Mike O'Hearn memes?
No.
The he's like the real life Giga Chad.
Oh
He's
yeah,
a
okay, yeah.
you'll probably recognize him. He's like legitimately like real life Giga Chad, like roided out, looks like a male. Did they always play the Baby Don't Hurt Me, uh, or What Is Love over him? But there's the funny meme where he's just staring at you dead in the eyes, and it's like when I've been training for the when I've been training for the cockfighting Olympics for years, and I show up and my opponent has a rooster.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
the is this? What have I been training for? Um, but yeah, so um, I know the last time we spoke, you said that you were kind of working on. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm just gonna hand it to you. All things psychedelic, retreat, church, veteran, PTSD, trauma. I I'm gonna let you explain it.
Sweet. So yeah, man, this has been a calling it's been just a couple months ago. I kind of realized, hey, we can totally do this. It's been weird because since I thought of it, I see more and more of the veteran suicide shit on like Twitter. And maybe I didn't notice before. Maybe I got like I'm tuned into it more now, but I always knew there was a problem, but I didn't even at the 22 a day or whatever the known
Yeah,
statistic is, they kind of didn't really sink in. 'Cause I haven't had that many friends off themselves, to be honest with you. Uh, but anyway, realizing what an epidemic this actually is, I was like, oh, wait a minute. It turns out there's something that fixes this. Psilocybin is actually like an off switch. It goes click and it's over. And it's crazy. It's crazy that people don't know. That's crazy that I didn't know that for a while. But I mean, science is there. This is not like some, bullshit that I made up when I was talking to somebody in the spirit realm. I mean, this is like there's extensive studies on this. Uh, Most recently of 2015 from the University of Alabama. Some professor down there did a test, and it was crazy, man. It was like 75% of people that took psilocybin off switch for suicidal thoughts, like ever. So it's kind of a one and fucking done. So yeah, so that's what I'm leading into now is we're spreading awareness of this, and I'm also founding my own church, mostly for soft veterans, but pretty much for the combat arms guys, because the dudes that I can help to get them, the magic sauce therapy, and let's end this.
yeah. And I'm actually gonna make a note. Actually, the episode that's I guess airing today. Uh, I get who the people that produced the show. They weren't there this week. Told me to find an old episode, not important, but the one I just happened to pull was 1120 episode 1122, and it's actually about this. It's two military
Really?
guys. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the last name. Orofsky and I can't remember Mielkorek, I think. I'll send you the episode. It's probably
Okay.
actually
Yeah.
airing right now, but it's about that, and it's about what they do, and both combat vets, and both guys who got pretty close to suicide themselves.
Yeah.
And it's I think they start with like fasting, and then if that
Yeah.
doesn't work, the next step is psilocybin. And man, it is real. I talk about it all the time. I've only done psychedelics on 5 occasions in my life, and it's been almost 10 years since I've last because I mean it really is like, yeah, it's like you don't wear a cast anymore. It's like my arm's not broken. I don't,
Exactly
and like
right.
that's
Yeah.
what it is. And like, man, I was I'm not to make this about me. I was a straight laced stay gotten. I mean, legitimately like Boy Scout, Captain America, and I had read about it, and I would just thought it was interesting from like a clinical standpoint. until I had actually tried it. And it's just, I mean, it's reading that like heavier than air flight is feasible versus like getting on a plane and flying. And
Right.
you're like, that's, I've made that 12-hour drive and that was just a 90-minute flight. And all of a sudden,
Right.
it's no longer this abstract chart with, you know, aerodynamic waves. And
Right. 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 Right.
no, 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 it's real. And it is. And then the next question is like, so then what do you do with it? And it's it. You can make the world a better place. And I know that's cliche and like the, but really, it's
Yeah.
not. You can move it an inch forward. And especially like someone like yourself, whenever I talk to people who are depressed, or, I always lead with like, hey, I lost a brother to suicide. And it kind of get, I don't know, credibility or whatever.
Yeah.
You can do this with I can't talk to veteran. I can try, but I can't on the same way you can. And I think it really is, I mean, not only something that you can do, but I don't know if you feel it, but it's almost obligatory. If you've been shown
Oh
this,
yeah.
your own
It
experiences,
is.
you can talk to
Yes.
people as an SF guy. It slowly starts to move from I should do this to like, oh, this is on me.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100% true. No, that's exactly it. That is the whole deal, man. That's part of why I'm founding this, and part of why I've been doing this, just amateur hour. What's the word I'm looking for? Uh-oh, hold on. Hold on.
You're
My
good.
son just got a pulley started walking into the podcast naked.
You're good.
Honey.
It's not live. Don't worry. We can edit it out.
Okay.
We can
No,
edit
no,
it
no.
out. No.
Normally I don't care if they're in the cast, but
No, no,
during
no.
the intro,
No. I'm with you,
like
dude.
we're
It's
instantly shut down. Yeah.
no,
They're
no.
like they don't like the competition.
How'd Tommy get banned? They're like, was it COVID? No, they're like, dark turn, dark turn. Naked
Yeah, no.
kids. Like, what the like?
Yeah,
No,
the
it wasn't
FBI
me.
comes.
It was Clay. They're like, oh, really? You're blaming Clay, a veteran, on Memorial Day?
Right,
You
right.
sick.
They'd be like, the FBI come and get him. They're like, no, it was Epstein's guys. They
That's
they don't
how I
like
go
competition.
down. That's how I go down. Is
Fucking
blaming a
murder.
veteran on Memorial Day for naked kids. Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Just fall from grace, Tommy.
That's a goddamn Netflix documentary if I've ever
God,
seen it.
no, they better have me played by a black guy. It's only fair. It's only fair if every
No,
black guy Netflix documentary is played by a. I mean, we'll say that for another show. But like, keep going. Not the,
okay, all
you
right.
gotta put out. You gotta put out. How do you put out an explosion with a bigger explosion? That's what I just did. Is we're on the topic of naked children, very bad. So what I do is I come in and immediately go like, well, George Floyd's gonna play me in my documentary. Bigger explosion. Now we've moved, but now I it up by pointing it out. Sorry, keep going.
That's what the audience is here for. Anyway, rewinding 17 steps. So, anyway, yeah, no, I mean, this is part of the deal. Like, dudes like me, we won't go to therapists. We do fly our asses off. We don't want to go. It's funny. I've talked ever since this idea has been rolling. I've been talking to multiple guys, going with their experience too, and they told me that one of my boys is like, man, I finally decided I need some help. I went to this shrink. It was a chick. I was just like 10 minutes this. He's like, I got up. I was like, I can't take you seriously, and but he's got a point, man. Like, maybe she's the best psychologist in the world, but we're a weird enough breed and we've done weird enough shit that we're not doing that. We're
Correct.
just not. And the other thing is, like, dudes generally won't even call anybody else. There's got to be like a peer. It has to be like a direct peer, like somebody that's done the same shit. And then the other side of this, I really started paying more attention to this too. I didn't realize how assed up the VA is with like their suicide hotlines and shit. So the other dudes, the guys that will call it, it's a complete. I was reading this morning on Twitter, one of these guys, one of the other vet guys saying he had a friend that had to go pick up a buddy like 3 hours away because the VA wouldn't admit him in the middle of the night because the psychologist had gone home for the weekend. So this was like in the VA parking lot, getting ready to off himself, and one of the boys had to swoop in and save him. And it's easy to shit on the VA, but the point is they don't have a solution. There is no plan. Uh, Hotlines are not going to do the trick. 42 push-ups a day is not going to do the trick. It's just not going to work. We have something that does work. We have to choose to use it.
Correct. And yeah, no, we can shit on the VA all day long, but it ultimately comes down to I think it was Mark Manson and the subtle art of not giving a something might not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. And that's how
Yeah,
I
no, that's
always look
good.
at shit.
Yeah,
It's like, hey man, you knock on the door, you open it, and it's a baby. You go, what the? Somebody leaves a baby at your front. That's not your fault. You get T-boned by a drunk driver, not your fault, man. It is your responsibility. As shitty as it
yeah,
is, it's
right.
here in front of you now, and that's kind of how I look at stuff like that. Like easy, sure, okay, where are we going? It's
Right.
we can all look at each other and go, I agree. No, Titanic sinking. This is I'm with you. I get it, man. I didn't design it. I didn't chart the path. I didn't see the iceberg or lack thereof. I get that. It's tilting and we need to go. And that's kind of how I look at it. And again, back to what you're saying though is you do need guys like you. It just
Yeah, it's gotta be.
I can talk to friend like a lifelong friend. I can talk to them and it's kind of, equal. And
Yeah,
again, I can use my experience with my own brother. I don't really even try to talk to guys like you. And it's because I know personally I wouldn't take me seriously. In the same way a college like psychology major, I wouldn't take seriously. I'm like, I'm sure you have the best of intentions. You have no idea what it's like to bury a sibling. I
right,
don't even, I can't. I can't. Like,
right.
what the
Yeah,
have I done? Um, and then again, yet psilocybin is and then it works. And it doesn't even need to be a whole tirade about these things work and the pharmaceutical. I get all the edgy Reddit comments,
right.
but it also kind of comes down to like yeah. What are we doing with it right now? And uh, yeah, I think it's obligatory. I really do, and I think that's probably why you had that weird creepy shit leading up to Wrath of the Wendigo, where you're like, okay, there's more out there. The exploding light bulbs.
Yeah,
I tend to think that this is what this is for you as well.
I agree fully. I,
Yeah,
I agree 100%. Yeah, I agree 100%.
yeah,
And it's even kind of weird. We're going to talk about suicide or whatever. It's a good day for it anyway.
yeah,
It's also man, this is shit that I didn't realize until I was well down the path of psilocybin. So we think of like dudes suicide, like oh, you're gonna be depressed and all this bullshit, and given their stuff, there's all these like warning signs, right? Well, that's not
sure.
always true. Yeah, that can be true, but it's not always true. I never suffered from any of that shit. I don't think I was ever really depressed. I went through the two that are pretty common to like my guys. Now that I've talked to a bunch of them too, because this is shit that individually we all internalize until somebody brings it up and really broaches the subject. The first one that gets a lot of like soft dudes is you wake up one day and you're like, well, I ran the ball and I was in the Super Bowl and shit, and that's over. So really, what the f am I doing here? And it's not even like you're sad about shit. It's just like really, like what this is I'm kind of done, which is very common. And I think that one we can address pretty easily. The second one is way weirder. Have you ever heard of like the impulsive thought suicide?
Yeah, call the void.
Yeah.
There's that
Uh,
there's that French saying of like when you go near a cliff, you're just what if I jump?
yes, yes. I thought for a lot of years that everybody has had these thoughts because I would be like walking around my house, and I have a lot of guns. That's what I do for a living.
Oh, dude, I had him in college before my brother took his life. I had a
No
pistol.
shit.
I literally
Yeah,
just be like, it was more of a curiosity. I'd be like, that's so
yeah.
wild that my entire life, I'm like, within 30 seconds, I can be either non-existent or onto like the next realm. I just looked at it
Would
like
you?
a teleportation machine. I was like, that's wild.
Well, that's absolutely crazy, and but dude, I respect it.
No, it's just there's
Yeah,
nothing to
yeah,
do about it. You just go,
yeah.
hey, you're
For
probably
me,
not going to tell anyone about that. I'll just fucking keep
right?
stuff.
That sound like a done.
Hey,
Like,
there's
next,
that.
next,
Take that. Put
next
that
thing,
aside.
next thing you know, you're getting red flag.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I was like, yeah,
Well, for me, for a lot of other dudes, it's never really like as a teleportation machine. It's just an impulsive thought. If you
right there.
like walking past your gun, where you'd be like, I should pick that up and shoot myself in the head.
Yeah, right
And you'd
there.
be like this far, you'd be like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
No.
whoa. And just going about your day, like nothing
No,
happened.
there's a huge there's a huge thing in that with OCD and impulsivity. One of the things is
Really?
oh yeah, no, parents be like, what if I took
Oh,
my newborn baby and just smacked it against the wall? Completely normal, employed, no criminal record, no And
No
like,
crazy shit.
and
Yeah.
they don't want to talk about it because they're like, I must be the worst mom in the world. And doctors are
Right.
like, no, what you're actually doing is you're going through that and going, that's maybe the worst thing I could ever do. What if I just
Interesting.
took my dick out on the podcast? Don't do that. It's actually you're going
Fuck.
through. No, you're
I
like
already did.
troubleshoot. Yeah, and well, that's why I always crop below. Joke is always out. But like, it's like you're troubleshooting it as to like, don't do that. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, dude, I think that actually gets a lot of my dudes. Like, I really do. Like, because I mean, I've been, close and like, hold the, and maybe TBI makes this shit worse. And maybe it, like cuts part of the loop out. So it's, but anyway, I know it's crazy, but I didn't notice until like 8 months after I'd done psilocybin the first time, like, wait a minute, like, I've never heard that voice again. Like,
Wow.
never. And yeah, so then I started paying attention and like, no, really was back from the first fucking dose. So in personal experience anyway, it turns that one off too, which is wild because we have no idea how many guys we lose in that.
Mm-hmm.
And the number 22 a day, there's a theory out there that that's only half. It's actually closer to like
Oh,
44 a
we
day.
know that's not accurate.
You're right.
That's what they're admitting. You know,
Right.
it's whatever the Pentagon admits is not showing up in an
Right.
audit. You know?
No shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's completely bananas. And something else I didn't know until I started kind of walking down this path, but active duty suicides are way up. They're up like 300-400% in the last 10 years, which is weird because it used to be after guys were out. Now it's started to affect the guys that are in too. And yeah, so I mean there's a fucking switch for that too. And then not even looking at my own community, the big thing with awareness on this for me is it's still also the number two leading cause of death for men 18 to 45 in general.
The,
Only fentanyl is higher. Like, god damn, bro.
there's a save that there was like an Instagram reel I saw, I think last year, the year before, where they just charted
Mhm.
GWAT deaths. What is it like 7,500, I think, around, give or take?
And that'd be on the high side. Yeah, it's close
Y-
to 7,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then post deployment suicides. And
Oh,
it's
dude, it's
with
fucking
post
crazy.
deployment suicides, GWAT has actually lost twice as many as Vietnam. It's like 110 or
Wow.
120. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
World War II death around 425. So you're
Wow.
coming up on, you're actually like, Civil War doesn't count because it was every death.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Counts twice. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. GWAT's actually, and I don't know if they have the statistics for Vietnam. I'm sure with Vietnam, it's probably, like 10 times, whatever the fuck it is. But
Well,
with,
man, I don't know. This
it
could
might
be
be
a
a newer
current
thing,
year.
man. It
Yeah,
might not be
it really might.
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so, I don't know. So, like, one thing I just kind of popped into my mind is like, whenever I don't sleep enough, everyone knows when
Mhm.
you don't sleep enough, you're just kind of off. You know
Yeah.
you're off, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little, you 7 hours, 6 hours, five, 4, you start to get a little weirder, kind
Yep.
of jumpy, not all there. Just like, all right. What I've kind of found over the year with the podcast primarily, if you don't sleep enough in college or whatever, you study by yourself. It's a little different because I'm on like camera and I'm like overthinking everything. But over the years, I just kind of formulated this thing of like your long term thinking. Like today, got enough sleep, went to the gym, blah blah blah. I know that I'm fully functioning, and whenever I meditate, I'm also kind of always thinking about like what's the next month and year of the podcast, where am I going, where am I shifting, what risks versus reward, am I blah blah blah. I know on days I don't sleep enough, I know that that's all fucked up because I'll look at it and
Yes.
then I'll look at it the next day and go, no, those are all your anxieties are all through the roof.
Right.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
start,
Yeah.
you're like, I should really start limiting the show and not. And I've over years just kind of had this realization that didn't get enough sleep. Okay, today we're gonna do today's show. We're gonna talk to Clay. We're gonna go to the gym. Gonna make dinner, eat dinner, blah blah blah, and then you're just gonna go to bed. Well, what about the on the back half of this? No, because you're not looking at it accurately. Like your
Right.
rifle isn't sighted. You are not to shoot farther than 50 meters, and like that has helped me so much to just go. You are to make it to 8 p.m. and go to bed. But what? No, not but what. You're to make it to 8 p.m. and the next day. Now you can start looking at months and years. I think that is potentially kind of the mindset that someone like you would have to almost pitch to guys who are are, and I don't mean in a derogatory way, guys who are
Yeah.
just again
Yeah.
my
Oh yeah.
and I say that like my older brother,
Yeah.
hey, he
Yeah.
was in the head to do that. That's not a
Yeah.
rational thing.
Yeah.
Instead of going, we're gonna get you through this, and well, then what am I gonna do after that? And my
Oh
wife
no, no,
left me.
fucking don't worry about any of that other
Hey, we're
bullshit.
getting
Yeah.
to 8 p.m. And I think
Yes.
that's maybe something you need to pitch to go like, hey, you are to get to this, and we're gonna take this thing, and then that's it. What about no? We're just gonna
Yeah.
get to this,
That's exactly it.
and just
That's exactly fucking it.
give them like an LZ. Just be like,
Yep.
you're to get there. But what about no? Get back to the hotel, and you're going to bed. Everything else, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I th-
Right.
but I feel like that's maybe something. I always think like, what would I do if I could have talked to my brother? And I'm always like, I've over 11 years of thinking about it. I've kind of pitched like, hey, I'm gonna come get you. We're gonna go get some McDonald's. I don't care about anything after. I don't care student loans, girlfriend problem, but weight loss, car pit, whatever. I'm gonna come get you. We're just gonna go out, and that's all. That's the end of the universe ends at 8 p.m. We're just going to get a Big Mac, and not to tell you how to do it, but I feel like that's what I would maybe do is like
Well, no, I think that's
get
exactly
there.
right. No, I think that's exactly it. Yeah, you won't need like a 5 year plan and we're gonna get you back to running marathons and fucking crazy
No.
bullshit. No, man, let's deal with this. I'm looking at this as like the being the paramedics of psychological intervention in a way, if you will. Uh, let's get past like my shit's all totally fucked up, and then we'll go to bed, and then we'll talk about some other shit or to somebody else. I don't give a fuck. Like I've done my part. I did what needed to be done.
Yeah, and it's very. I mean, and I kind of can because I mean, everyone depression, anxiety, blah blah blah. I have had like gotten close to suicide, and first was July 2016, so about 2 years after my brother died. And I just remember I had a brief moment of clarity. And my parents were really worried about me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not moving home, blah, blah, blah. I'm 23, 24, 25, 26. And I remember finally I just had this brief, and I think I only had it because I lost a brother. It's also a catch 22. Had I not lost a brother, I probably wouldn't have been suicidal. But I remember I just had this brief, like the window aligned. And I remember I called my mom and I was like, you need to come get me. And I knew once I did that, it was like once I had given that order, I knew it was over. It's like once the president says like whatever, shut down, it's over. The markets are gonna tank, but like once the president says we're on DEFCON 1, like things have been put into motion. And my mom was down, and like a couple hours later, came and got me, and like that was the closest I had ever gotten. And I always think like I had a moment of clarity, probably because I knew like this is what this does to a family. And it was
Yeah.
almost like, dog, you can't,
Oh
you
yeah.
sack of shit. Like you know what this does. At least you could argue your brother didn't know subjectively what it would do to your family. I'm like, you know.
Right.
Well, that was very lucky for me. How many didn't? How many just went forward?
Yeah, no, it's 100% true. 100% true.
And there's no correction.
No. Yeah, that one's it's got a lot of finality to it.
It's something that you can't learn from. I always think about that. Playing Ghost Recon or something, you learn. You get shot in the face after the 100th time you've been capped. You're like, stop leaning that corner. But
Get some camouflage on something.
yeah, but in real life, there's no learning that. The
Yeah.
next Somali dies as quick as the first one. Peak bam, peak bam. There's no learning. We
Yeah.
can't know what's happening in the final hours. You can't know, and I don't know. I mean, I don't even. I mean, I guess it's sort of like get him to the spot and hit him with the psilocybin like syringe to the dome. Like I don't know. Like what's your thought process behind it? Because it's a wild undertaking, and I think it's probably like the most noble undertaking though.
Yeah,
Like, what's
no,
even
man.
what's your thought process? How the do you?
I know that it works because I've done several interventions like this over the last couple of years since my first time myself, or we call them exorcisms, and it always fucking works. I've had zero failures, so I know it works personally too. That's exactly it, man. You just have to say you have to make, especially deals like this, feel comfortable enough that they'll come out and do it. And part of that is being like the Peter, the guy, like, hey, I did all the same shit as you. This will work. Uh, a lot of it is also it's getting, particularly for like soft guys and shit, it's getting past the fear of you're my age, man. You were probably a Nancy Reagan kid. Don't use hallucinogens to cut your face off with fucking razor blades looking for the spiders or some nonsense. Um, Getting past that fear. There's a lot of fear also from dudes that have had TBI. Have found that they're afraid now to do anything else that's going to affect their brain. They're like, well, I'm already fucked up. Is this going to like melt my shit down? And again, this is all nonsense fears from Dare or whatever homo shit we had in the 80s and 90s that influenced this way. The second thing is getting them over the fear of how do I say this correctly? Like for me, I knew the minute I published a book about psychedelics, I was never getting a security clearance again. Like it was over. They take that one very, very seriously. Uh, so there is that fear. But when you look at it in a sacramental sense instead of in a recreational sense, that does afford some what's the word? What's the appropriate word here? Looseness on your security clearance investigation, if you will, because it's all in the way that you think about it. To be perfectly honest, have you ever done drugs? Absolutely not. I have taken the sacraments of my people, though, genetically from Northern Europe, and that's really none of your business. The only thing that's really not going to get you past is a lifestyle poly, but that's a lot more rare. I mean, you got to be doing some really gangster shit for that to matter anyway. And if you're playing at that level, you can probably make your own decision on what you say about things. Um, so that's the other fear. They're afraid that they'll never work for Uncle Sugar again, which is real to a degree, but it can be mitigated. And then the third thing, it is scary, bro. Especially if you're like 40 years old, 40, 45 years old, you're a lifer, my kind of dudes. You've seen some shit, and there should be some healthy like fear of like what is going to happen here. And the only thing you can really help with that is, hey, I was scared of that too. And I will tell you, they're not going to freak out and act for neighbors and crazy shit. What you can do is you're going to lay down on your little couch right there, and it's all going to be fine. And nothing you can't deal with. I, I have yet to see like a veteran have. Let me rephrase this. Every veteran that I've done this with, and everybody that's heard about my trips from like my book, are like, holy shit, dude, you had nothing but bad trips. I've never seen one that I've been on that way, and it's that way I think for most operators. You might see some stuff, be some some stuff, but it's nothing you can't handle, and it's all going to work out. It's all going to be just fine.
Yeah, I think about like Dale and Ground Branch, and
Yeah,
he was like, yeah, those polys, but that's a pretty select.
yeah, you're dealing with some. Once you're playing that game, you're in some shit. I mean,
Let's
you're
be
in.
honest, you're probably so engaged. You're like, I don't even want to commit suicide, dude. I'm like the main
No,
character.
you don't while you're doing that shit. No,
Yeah,
I mean, that's yeah,
you're like, dude,
you're
I'm
busy.
John
You're
Wick. You're like, off.
right, right,
Shut
right,
up,
right,
pussy. Yeah.
right. And
And
after you're done, do you really give a fuck about your clothes anymore? Well, no, man, maybe you
and
should.
then here's the next point. Is so when I was very suicidal and like what led up to me like eventually like calling my parents and me like I need help was I decided to just take like the biggest dose I could, and my logic was, well, if I'm too scared to do this, how in God's name am I gonna have the balls to shoot myself? Because that's the biggest trip. No one knows what
Yeah,
happens on that trip,
right,
and it's forever. As
right.
far as maybe it's the pearly gates, maybe it's reincarnation, maybe it's no memory, you zap into a parallel, maybe it's the void, maybe it's whatever. And so and I hope it doesn't sound like unsensitive, but you do kind of have to talk this way to people. It's like when I'll talk to like a friend, I'll just straight up tell them, I'll be like, "Hey, if we get you help and then you still want to kill yourself after, you can kill yourself after." And there's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
that they're like,
totally
"What?" They're
fair.
like, "What the?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna." I'm like, because I had a friend Miguel who's a GWAT Marine, just
Yeah.
enlisted. And I remember one time he was like, "Hey man," he was like, "We're gonna get you help, but if you want to kill yourself after, you still can." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "And furthermore, I'm not gonna let that ruin my life because I still got a long life ahead of me. So I'm not gonna carry your trauma." And I was like, "What?" And it kind of like sobered me up. I was like, "What do you mean you won't be
That's funny.
sad?" He was like, "I will, dude, but
I got shit to do.
He's like, "I got to, dude. It's like I'm single. I got a nightlife. What are you?" I think you
That's
almost need to
fucking
talk
good.
about it. Be like, cool, cool, cool. You're worried about losing your security clearance for what? For what? I mean, and I think I mean, again, that's something that I think only you could talk about. Like, for
Yeah,
what? So, like, if you're worried about losing your security clearance, I would venture to say maybe you're not suicidal because you're
right.
thinking of
Right.
it. One of the huge things about suicide is like no long term plans.
Yeah.
That's a huge
Right.
thing.
Right.
What do you? So I don't. That might be a moment of like sobering up.
Well,
I
honestly,
don't
that's how
know.
you
Yeah.
honestly that's how you back down from the am I gonna melt my brain shit too.
Yeah.
If a new study came out today, let's say it was like 100%, I don't know, God spoke and said this. So like if you took psilocybin ever in it took 20 years off your life, I would still do it. I would have still done it in the past
A
because
hundred
it would have
percent.
given me, yeah, give me whatever time I have left is infinity better than it was before. So
Yeah.
really, yeah, is your shit totally up? Well, what's worse that happens here then?
I'm 34. I first did psychedelics when I was 23. I would go so far as to say, yeah, if I knew my life, if right now, like your life ends at 40, you got 6 years, or you can retroactively not do that, and you can, then I'd end at 40.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly,
same.
yeah, no,
Same.
six more,
Yeah,
and then like the last 10 post psychedelic. No, I would do this. It's,
yeah,
it's better.
yeah.
It's better, and it's not in some like you're zonked out on fentanyl. I mean, like, no,
No,
it's you're you see pain more clearly, but yeah, you see it more. You know what it is.
yeah,
It's truth. You're getting closer to the real thing. It's there's got to be something appealing about like 100,000 BC. Just like we're waking up and we're gonna go and try to get food today. There's got to be some like simplicity to that. There's no like Dow
right.
Jones. There's there's no foreign policy. There's no language. We just look at each other and you're like, we're gonna, just without even speaking, you're like, we gotta go kill that thing because my tummy hurts. There's got to be some like bliss to that. Where the fuck am I going with this? What does this have to do with psychedelics? I just black out when I'm talking. Just like completely stroke. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with psychedelics. I'm just stroking out mid sentence. Yeah, I don't. It would have to be that, but yeah, right. That is a big thing because even if you are suicidal, yeah, I guess you could say, what are you worried about losing your security clearance, and that's a self defeating argument. But no, I guess the next one would be like, well, I don't want to have like a horrifying experience and then still kill myself. That would be how. What I always tell people is like, the first time I tripped, I just remember laughing, thinking, I can't believe I was scared of this, and I've told that to people, and like people that eventually do it agree. But that's like as best of a pitch I could ever come up with. Like
Yeah.
how would you go about that to somebody who's like, I don't even care about security clearance. Like, this just seems terrifying.
I've actually gotten to deal with this quite a bit now. Also, this is one of the other reasons I can do this. Like I've always told them, and now I've got a depth of experience of other dudes to back it up with. So it's not like I just got off easy. Like I get to take psychedelics and I don't see any fucking crazy shit. Nobody that I've talked to from my line of work, and I've done this a lot with them, has gone down like some super dark hole. They might have seen some dark shit, but nothing was like overwhelmingly terrifying or bullshit like that. I would tell them like I told them my guys the first time. I had two dudes. This was my first time guiding, so I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing either. Uh, they're both nervous about. doing the substance. I was like, all right, listen, it's like 12 o'clock in the afternoon right now. I'm like, all right, here's where you're wired different than a mortal. Like if a werewolf zombie thing walked out of those woods right now, neither of you would be terrified to the point you couldn't react. You would both fight. All right. The only reason one of you
That's a
might,
good point.
yeah, and like the only reason one of you might run is we get a better weapon. All right.
Yeah, that's a very good
You,
point.
yeah, it is. It's fucking true. Like you are hardwired for this, and if something with you on your trip, well, guess what? You're hardwired to deal with that too.
Yeah, and then as you did say in Barbarian Spirit, you're like the fear is like I don't doubt I can fight it. What if what I think is a zombie is the mailman? And you talked
Right?
about that in your book, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know how much of an argument there is for that because that one I would go, yeah, no, I get that, and there really is no guarantee. I guess at
Well,
this point it would
I
have,
think that's a broad misunderstanding of psychedelics, though. I thought when you did psychedelics, like you were wandering around, like I'd be downtown in my town or some crazy shit.
yeah,
It doesn't work. For me and for most of the guys that I've seen, you lay down. You take
yeah,
psychedelics, you lay down. You go on a weird, crazy trip, but it's with your feet elevated like this and your little sleepy mat, and so yeah, that kind of mitigates that one too.
yeah.
Like LSD, some other crazy shit that might be different, but psilocybin in particular, like you're gonna lay down and have a good time.
Yeah, I've never, and it's also kind of yeah self defeating. It's like I think Terrence McKenna said it. He was like, yeah, you're not. Don't be worried about doing crazy shit on your trips. He was like, 2 grams, you're still gonna walk around, but 2 grams is just like a little kiss. It's just a little, it's a little evening. He
Right.
was like, 5 grams, you're sitting down and it's gonna be probably hard to walk, and you're probably scared to walk. And then he was like, 10 grams. He goes, that's cavemen laying on the floor, seeing things that have created religion. He's like, that's not. You're not good. Don't. You're not taking your pants off. You're getting the download. You're like seeing Old Testament gods. He's like, yeah, but I think, but also it would be for the people that still don't believe that, and that's something it could come into. Be like, you would say, well, I'm not going to let you. It doesn't mean anything if I say that. Again,
Right.
you're a soft guy. If I'm like, Clay, I'm gonna
Right.
let you. You're like, dude, no offense, Tommy, I like you. I'll kill you. And I'm like, put him up, sucker. Like 1800s fisticuffs. But like, that's something I think you could also say. You could be like, and then everything aside, you'd be like, I'll fuck you up if you try to do that. And you
No,
could
it's
do
very
that
yeah.
credibly. You could say that
Yeah.
credibly.
Right. No, that's a valid point, and that is one that's come. A couple of the dudes that didn't do their first time experience with me, but did it with somebody else. That's exactly the fear that they had, and most of them would only go if there was another peer that had done it before there, and they would go to that guy prior to and be like, "Hey, Seal Johnny, like, hey man, if I get crazy, you know what, do the thing, and we're still boys." And he'd be like, "Okay, here's your 10 grams." Oh, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is. It's a credible thing, and it's a credible way of mitigating that fear is being capable of dealing with that if it happens.
Yeah. It's actually, yeah. And I hadn't even thought about that till this conversation. I always figured like that, no, you have to talk to a peer where you could talk about,
Yeah,
warfare.
yeah,
But that's also something you'd have to say is like credibly like, yeah, and I'll fuck you up if you like stray out of the
right,
yard.
right.
Like
Like,
that's yeah.
like I can stop you because I'm stone cold sober, and you're not gonna be. So we know how this is gonna end. Yeah, and that's totally credible and fair.
Yeah. Heaven's Harvest Prepper Food. 72 servings per pail, 25 years shelf life. I've had the owner Clayton on the show before. He's a God fearing, America loving patriot. Get one of these, get a couple of them, throw them in your basement. It's good to have it, not need it, than to need it and not have it. If you don't want to do that, you can get their seeds. You can plant your own garden. So you don't even have to keep buying them. You can just get the goods and start your own. Or you can even get freeze dried fruits and vegetables like bananas, apples, strawberries, and raspberries. They support the show. It's an honest product. It's a good safety measure to have, and they keep my show free for you. So I'd implore you guys to please go to heavensharvest.com, use the link in the description, promo code TPC. Axios Fitness Coaching is a premium resource for holistic strength and conditioning services. Axios is best known for the Training Club, capital T, capital C, an exclusive community that prioritizes accountability, technique, diet, and nutrition. everything you need to do to take action against the decay of the modern world. Whether you're looking to improve your physique, build strength, or just take care of your health and fitness, Axios will provide you with a solution that is effective and simple to execute. All you need to do is complete the intake survey, and you can see if you're a good candidate for the training club or any other of the services. And it's going to sponsor the show. So, one company falls off, another one arises. So, if you guys like the show, you want to work out, throw the show a couple shekels. Go take the survey. Thank you so much, guys.
Higher ultraviolet exposure is associated with lower mortality. The United Kingdom is a high latitude and low sunlight country. Researchers there collected data on over 360,000 participants in a study of UV exposure via solarium use. When compared with non-users, solarium users had 15% risk lowered of all-cause mortality, 23% lower risk of cardiovascular mortality, 14% lower risk of cancer mortality, and a 12% lower risk of non-cardiovascular, non-cancer mortality. In other words, all other causes. Quoting the researchers, our study adds to the growing evidence that the benefits of UV exposure outweigh the risks in low sunlight environments. A link to the original publication is available in the box below the video. Get some UV light this winter. Immerse yourself in the tranquility of the blue. Visit a blue room soon. www.blueroom.com.
And then, in terms of, so this is all well and good. The thing that always catches me though is like, so even if like you're developing this like pretty effective thing, and nothing's 100%, but compared to
Right.
therapy and
Right.
whatever, it's like 100. It's there's anyone that's done psychedelics knows it's not, dude. It's nuclear weapons versus cannonballs.
Right.
It's a different century.
Right.
All well and good. Set up the thing. You can talk to them as a peer. You can physically restrain them as a peer. You can go through all the blah blah blah. All that. All good. Got it. Great. How do you actually get them there? I don't mean physically get them there. I mean the people that are really. One thing
Mhm.
losing my brother has helped me learn with is like I never do the hey bro, you can always call me. No no
Right.
no. Every once in a while I'll just call a friend.
Mhm.
I'm like I'm not waiting for you to call me. I know you're not.
Right.
No one
Right.
does. Absolutely no one does. You
Yeah.
have to. It's a weird reverse 911.
Right.
They call you.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the ambulance calling you and be like, "Do we need to come get you?" And you're like, "No," and they're
It,
like,
it's
"Dude,
it's
is your
Minority
leg
Report.
broken?" And you're like, "Kind of." And they're like, "All right, we're coming to get you." It's a
Right.
weird. So my point is you're building a hospital. You have
Yep.
orthopedic surgeons. You have casts, and
Yep.
everything we're talking about is great. And you know how to
Yep.
set the bone and X-rays and everything.
Yep.
It is unlike any other medical emergency, though, in that you have to seek it out. And how do you know to seek it out? Well, you don't. How do you go about that?
Right.
Is there a way to even go about? Is that kind of beyond the scope of, the
No,
cross you're carrying?
there is a way. There absolutely is a way, and this goes back to a Green Beret specialty. Way number one is going to be word of mouth, spreading the word. Huge messaging campaigns as we start this thing. Once we get enough awareness, all right, then it's on your actual buddy that's only heard about my bullshit to help in your own little tribe intervene
Yeah.
and get it done. But yeah, just spreading the awareness and showing that this works is going to be the big thing. Here's one of the other deals. This is why I've decided to go ahead and walk down this road. I didn't realize until I was like midway into building my own organization that there are like, I don't know, like 10, 15 other veterans organizations already that do this. They take guys to Mexico mostly. And my point on that is like, I've never fucking heard of you,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
If 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 we haven't succeeded in messaging, or if we're so scared that we're kind of keeping this shit on the down low and only dealing with like the guys that we know personally and taking them out of the country to these retreats where it's at least quasi legal in the therapeutic sense, we're not really doing the job. All right, this has to be big. All right, most of what needs to happen here is the awareness piece, because the sacraments, it's like $35 worth of stuff. It doesn't take much. It's nothing in the broad sense. It's going to be the awareness though that this works, and then training a bunch of other dudes to be able to, basically do, guiding 101, which is not rocket science either. You just need a couple of runs yourself, and then we Green Beret, man. Fucking we take a bag full of money and we turn it into a whole bunch of competent hooligans and fucking send them out into the ether.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you haven't heard of them, yeah, it's all
Yeah, and
obviously, it's like if you only
yeah.
help 3 people, it's like of course that's honorable.
No, it's great. No, it's fantastic. They're doing great work.
Yeah, no, no, it's not shitting
Yeah,
on
yeah,
them, but at the
yeah.
same time, it's like you want to win the war.
Right. I, I want I want our name to be as well known as, like, Wounded Warrior Project. It was a
Yeah,
bunch of retards, but everybody knows a goddamn name. Everybody's heard of their
yeah,
shit. That's the thing.
yeah. No, you got it, and maybe it might be something like deep in the mind though, but like that's how you have to. You do have to view it as a war. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes.
legitimately, be
Yeah.
like, I don't know. In this, I have no idea, but I mean, I feel like that's almost a way that would, if you are an SF guy, I feel like that would be a way to like look at it. Be like don't view it as suicide. View it as a demon that killed your buddy. Like, what would
Yeah.
you do if that was some Afghani? What would you do if that
Right.
was some Mogadishu skinny? How would that
Right.
change the mindset of like, damn,
Yes.
I can't believe that happened? Like, what would actually happen, like, deep in your wiring? Like, how would the shade of like, how would it change to be like, no, someone did that? It
Yeah.
would immediately move from like, man, that's an epidemic to be like, mobilize.
Yeah. We got to kill this right
And,
now.
and the thing is like, we don't know that that's not what it is.
No, we don't.
It's such an unnatural thing, and it doesn't happen in the animal kingdom. I would say, yeah, I'm 50-50 on it.
Right. At least. At fucking
Yeah.
least.
And it seems to be happening more and more at a higher rate,
Hmm.
despite every other metric of human life, IQ, life expectancy, childhood mortality, despite all of those going up over the centuries, and everything else going down, crime, gross murders, percentage murders. This is the one thing that's, I would, I mean, at a certain point, would you not look at that and say, if these were, I don't know, like, a couple of years ago, like all the train derailings and like power outages, yeah, at what point do you go
Hmm.
enemy action? This is like,
Right.
I'm actually thinking about this. At what point do you look at and go, no, this is like astral enemy action?
Yeah. No, it's not, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that might be a way you would get them, is be like, hey, faggot. This isn't like, we're not sitting here talking about feelings. Like, they're behind the wire or they're inside the wire. Like, we're gonna go kill them. I don't.
Yeah.
Is that? Do I just have like a retarded, detached take on it? Is that? I mean,
No,
you
no,
gotta
no.
wonder though. Is if
No, it's a
that's your
fantastic
training
way of
to your
looking at it. Yeah.
core,
Yeah.
is
No,
there
it's a
like a
fantastic
switch?
way of looking at
Yeah,
it.
is there a switch that gets flipped if you change it and go, no, this isn't a tragedy and I can't believe it happened again. But like the shadow realm is coming.
And they're winning right now.
Yeah.
We had to this level of casualties is unacceptable. We have to do something.
Like yeah, I wonder like what would that honest, I don't know, man. That might be a way to like reframe it.
No, it is, and all the other shit that we're talking about too, like the hotlines and the therapies and the SSRIs. That's studying the airplane that came back where all the bullet holes at, and that's what we need
Correct.
to. Right? No, we need to do the opposite of that.
Yeah. That is like McAfee Sog shit. Be like, hey, the bombing the Ho Chi Minh Trail is not doing it. We need to do something up. Get your black pajamas. Here's
Right.
Billy Wah's gonna give you some meth. Now go get this done. Deniable operation, but go do what needs to be done. But I mean, at what point do you do that? At what point do you look at it and be like, I mean, it is, right? It's an
It
illegal
is.
substance. You got to build up
Yeah.
a network without having your network busted. And yeah, they're taking it to you right now. And then, I mean, and this is where Clay and I then always just go off into the atmosphere, is like when it's pretty apparent that the global elite are a bunch of demon worshippers.
Yeah, amazing, right?
I mean, and it seems to be, and it's happening more and more. I mean, are they? I don't know. Do you have traitors in the ranks who are giving the enemy your coordinates? At a certain point, are they like lighting a beacon into the warp and being like, "Come here, come here"?
It's a
Are
very
they
good
bring?
fucking question.
And this is
Very
where
good fucking
and
question.
this is where yeah. But I mean,
I mean, is this shit programmed into frequencies on Wi-Fi? I mean, we don't know.
we have no idea. I mean, I don't know. That might be the way to look. And I mean, and I say that because that's how I look at like most things in life. Have always helped me, even in college, being pre med. I would never look at like a grade as something I wanted to get. I would just always imagine that there was somebody outscoring me, and that always just got me so angry. I would just get like I was probably the only person studying physics equations, like gritting my teeth. But I always just think like someone's doing better than me. There's someone with a 100. That guy, that sack of shit. He's embarrassing me, and it would just change my. It would just change my. I do that when I clean my apartment. I'll clean my apartment like once a month, just because I'm like, yeah, no. There's a version of me that does everything I do, and also the floors are swept. And I'm like, and you can't be that. You can't be that. You're a pussy. Like that's. It is how I go about it. I don't know, man. I don't know if there's just a framing that makes it feel less helpless. I don't know what to do. It seems to be an epidemic. It's taken a lot of lives. Versus like we found them. It's coming from somewhere. Go neutralize it. I don't. I don't know. Um, what would be ways that people can help you with this or facilitate this? Obviously, because my podcast is your soapbox to use as you please. What,
Like sweet.
like, what needs to be in terms of like everything all well good? How does it actually go into action? What's when people watch motivational videos and like I'm ready,
Right,
and it's
right.
like and then now what?
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know. It's you. How do where do the teeth start
Okay.
digging into the ground?
So you're the first. This is actually the first time I'm talking about this publicly. So honestly, by the time this airs anyway, barbarianspirit.com should be updated to our new church website, which is the Church of the Barbarian Spirit. Very convenient. Also, I realized why this was a calling and how the legal situation does not apply to me because it turns out that all you really need to have your sacraments protected by the First Amendment is a lineage that directs you back to a historic use of said sacraments, just like the Catholics. Catholics got away with sacramental wine during
Mm-hmm.
Prohibition uh, because that was their, First Amendment protected right. Well, it turns out that one of us wrote a holy book about a year ago that directly connects us back to our Northern European shamanistic roots, because that's where the All Father spoke to me through the same sacrament. So we've got that part handled. By the time this airs, barbarianspirit.com should be reformatted to our church solid website. The biggest problem with any of this stuff, though, is like anything else. Intervention costs money. It just does. In order to do this correctly, we've got to build out kind of the best way to do this is not like an Airbnb or some horseshit like that. It's at like the little compound in the woods with no electricity and stuff, that kind of shit. So we've got to finish building that out to do this at a super high level. The other thing is for the guys that are really up, it has to be free. They won't.
Mm-hmm.
They just won't. They won't spend anything to self help. So we've got to have some op fund to be able to bring them out and figure plane tickets, shit like that. Even though the sacrament honestly is like I said, like $35 a shot. It's nothing. It's child's play. I'm probably looking at about 3K per dude to be able to bring them out, feed them, house them, keep them fucking happy for the 4 or 5 days that it takes for this to work. That's 1 day to meet us, 1 day to do the stuff, 3 days to absorb the lesson on the back end. You can't just go back to work after this, especially not the first time. Like you're not picking up your shit to McDonald's again, fucking 12 hours later.
No.
So with that too, we're going to launch some merch that's geared especially to this, and it's dual fold. It's both to raise awareness that this does the trick, point traffic over to our website, and then also it's a way to give people something for helping out. We will overprice those a little bit. It's kind of part of the deal. We'll have like $10 stickers or whatever bullshit. Uh, but yeah, man, if we all live together, we can do this.
Yeah, no, and that's the most realistic part is like it's money. It's what it is. It's like
It is, yeah.
nothing's free. It's
No,
I mean, I was gonna say, what do you do? Do you do like a give where people because people just like seeing like the give send go. They like seeing the gold
yeah,
met or what monthly goal or what, and
right,
then
right.
also like tax write offs.
Yes, we are.
How would you if
We
you
are we are in process of formally incorporating our church with the state. Legally, we're a church right now, but we once we finish filing all those articles, probably another 3 months down the line, once all the shit's done, yeah, we'll be a legit. I forget what my attorney said. We are a
five oh one
501(c)(3).
three yeah 501(c)(3).
Yeah, yeah. So no, we'll be totally legit once we get that paperwork finished. But yeah, it's a done deal.
Yeah. And then for like I said, my show is yours. Yeah, you'd need so you're okay. You're going through that legally being a church, tax write off for people to give. People
Yep,
probably want to
tax
see
deductible. Yep.
what you would need. No, you don't need to convince me. I don't give a job. You and I are obviously on the same page with all this shit. You would need though, like success stories. You would
Yes.
need. I know that's like chick shit, but that's what you'd
No,
have to
it's
do.
true.
You
No, it's
can use
true.
my show for it, but
Yeah.
you absolutely have to have it because you don't
Oh yeah.
want. Even though, again, I know you. And I'm like, you never met my brother, but I don't think you doubt anything I ever tell you about him. The same way, I'm like,
Right.
I sure I. There are people though who are like, I don't really know Tommy. I don't know Clay. How do I not
Right.
know this isn't money going into a pocket? You would need
Right.
that 100%. Yeah. How
Yeah.
convenient. Clay gave us 100 stories about people. No, you can't meet them. You can't see them. I can't tell you about
Right.
anything.
Right. Right. Right.
But Bob, Michael Jackson Washington was,
Yeah.
you would have to see them.
Well, and honestly, some of this is going to have to go on faith just because of what it is. Dudes, we
Oh,
have to
sure.
use their real names. I mean, that's one of the reasons so many people have come to me is because I used my real name, but that makes me one of the minority from my community, at least. It's like, yeah, this is what's up. But we'll get those. It'll happen. Yeah, enough guys, especially after they use it the first time, will be like, "Holy shit! I got to tell everyone." And that's it. That's the amazing thing.
Yeah. No, and it obviously doesn't have to be like an obligate because again, you don't want any hurdle to the guys who are suicidal. You
Right.
don't the whole like when you're suicidal. I mean, like every straw is the straw that breaks the camel's back. So
Right.
you don't want some
Yes.
guy being like, I have to go do this and then do like a interview. No,
No.
like you
No. Hell
any
no.
bear like you do $35 would absolutely be a barrier to that. I'm not even.
Yeah. No. It would. It would. It's
Yeah,
got to be. Yeah.
yeah. It
It, it,
obviously has to be voluntary, but you would need some. You either and
yeah.
not just for people who are like, okay, there's the evidence, I'm gonna go help. I know people that will legitimately just like want to see something before they open their wallet.
Yeah. I know, man, dude. I get it, and I am 100% fucking with it. Yes.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, not to tell you how to do it, but that's yeah, you tax write off exempt, and then you'd have to have success stories, and not for
Yes.
the whole convince other guys to go. Although that would be good for people to pay. I wouldn't give money to something even as great as this, something that I
Yeah.
truly believe in, because I also know that the most evil people exactly would do something like that to make it's for
No
veteran.
shit.
It's for veteran. Tommy, I know you
Well,
talk about suicide a lot. This is yeah, those are the demons who would be like pocket $20. They will do it. They will do the unthinkable evil shit. So like,
isn't that what Wounded Warrior was in trouble for in the first
I
place?
have no idea, but I'm 100% on board with slandering anybody just for kicks.
Look it up real quick.
Okay, let's get some attention. I
If
I
I'm
heard
if I remember
I
correctly, that
heard
was a
they were
problem.
cooking puppies on live stream. I don't. It,
No, it was I don't know if it's still this way, but I know that a couple years after they got big, that was the problem. They were like paying for celebrity endorsements or some bullshit.
man,
Anyway,
what the
they
fuck?
they they were spending a large amount of because with a nonprofit, you can still pay salaries.
Well,
What it
yeah,
was, they were paying like exorbitant salaries to their executive team or something to that effect, and then but there's yeah, no, it was dirty as man. It's filth, but it's what happened. So yeah, you had to watch out for that shit, man. And I get it. I get it.
I wouldn't even care if they were like legitimately providing. I don't even know what Wounded Board. I think they would to Gold Star families. They give money to Gold Star.
No, they were just doing all kinds of. They were the big ones, dude. They were the
Yeah,
big dogs for I don't know elk hunts and gold like all the bullshit. But
yeah. I wouldn't even care if they were like providing an impressive private substitute to the VA. If it was like Wounded War, it'd be like if they have hospitals in 50 states.
yeah,
I'd kind of be like, yeah, there's probably some grift, but you know what, dude? They're doing nothing else.
right,
I'm
yeah,
sure
fuck it.
Blackwater overcharges. Shut the up. Shut the. It's the military industrial complex. Like a lot of pure evil. It's at the same time like, yeah, greed is why America works in every other aspect. What do you think? It's different when it comes to missiles. Like, yeah,
Right.
there's a reason we have the best infrared seeker heads. Like, yeah, a couple guys are getting some stock payouts. They probably should shut the up, right? It's again, I get if they were doing that, if it's 20 years from now and veteran suicides are down 80%, and there's some
Yeah.
story comes out about how you had bought like a G6, I'd be like, yeah, that's gross, but at the same time, like, shut the up, dude. There's a Barbarian Spirit Center in every state. Suicides are down 80%. Yeah, Clay bought a Rolls Royce he probably shouldn't have. And like, if you gotta let him go, like, but you know what I mean? There is like a certain level
Yeah.
of like, dude, shut the up. Like, of course there's some grift, but it sounds like they're not even really doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
So
kind of again, I don't remember exactly what I know that it came out and it was a big, and there's been, man, it's sad. There's been a lot of especially veteran charities that's happened to. So you're right. No, we gotta do everything we can to keep things, open and clear, but it's gonna work, man, because it's the best thing in the world. I mean, honestly, I'm less worried about that than I'm worried about like Big Pharma once they figure this one out is gonna be pissed
oh yeah,
because
no, they will. They'll. But even that man is like that's a noble fight.
yeah,
Like it's pick your battles. You don't go to war with everyone. But yeah, if you're like doing this and if like you're going up against big pharma interests, hey man, that's a noble way to go. Like that good. Like yeah, they're gonna send like mercenaries and kill you. Well, first of all, you could probably kill them, but also like, hey man, it's a thing worth doing. It really is. Like I do that with all like the COVID episodes, and when I have doctors on them and be like, yeah, I get like death threats every day, but these shots are giving babies heart attacks. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's a noble way to go. Like it's pretty
right,
clear cut.
right.
Like it's a baby heart. Like
Yeah, some wacko kills you for that when you're going to Valhalla. You're good.
you're. That's the way I look at it, man. Is like be grateful you have a chance to do something noble. Like
Yeah,
imagine if you didn't have that and you were just I don't know going to the 9 to 5 because there's a pizza party on Friday.
right, right.
Like I
Yeah,
like what a way to go. And it yeah, so but yeah, that's what I would say is you'd have to have witness shit, not witness success
testimonials,
stories. Yeah, you'd
success
have to
stories.
have
Yeah,
that. And obviously, my show is yours to use for that, as well as like fundraising and shit in any manner you want to do it. Um, but yeah. So what? So it'll be if this airs tomorrow. Website will be functional tomorrow.
yeah. It's already functional now. It just hasn't been updated to
Okay.
a new direction. Yeah, yeah. It's fine.
Um. Well, I'm gonna put you in touch with the other guys
Oh
that I
yeah.
had on a couple of years ago. I don't know if that would be helpful. I have no idea. And then what the fuck was I gonna say? You've already got like the sacrament shit. I was gonna say I think I have put you in touch with him before, but the guy you loved, Amon Hillman, the
Oh yeah,
fucking
dude. We need that guy. We That guy is awesome. Love
would
him.
would that help? Have you already
Yeah.
done like
No.
the
Fuck yeah.
sacrament lineage? Because that's like the historian that like could do it.
I've done enough, but I would love the help of Dr. Hillman.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, man,
that guy's
God,
awesome.
that guy's awesome. So Awesome.
What's up, man? Are you?
What's up,
That's the
man?
thing about these drugs, dude. Is like they're not drugs. They're portals into the ethereal realm of the ineffable, Tom. Like, dude, I get a contact high just listening to his voice.
No shit, right? Me
You hear it,
too.
you're like, yeah. It starts seeing like the shamanic drums. I'm like, fuck. He could literally be telling me about Kraft macaroni and cheese, and I'd be like, no, you're right. No, Mother Gaia is looking over us. Like, um, but yeah. So I'll ping him again, and then yeah,
Yeah.
the other guys. But we'll wrap this up for right now, and yeah, man, it's my to the extent that you having my show as a platform helps. It's what I have to
Oh, brother,
offer.
it's huge.
Um,
It's fucking huge. I
yeah,
know you're gonna get it. I know you're gonna get into this once we get rolling too. So it's gonna be awesome.
yeah, no, it's gonna be great. Yeah, no, it's wait, what? What did you say?
I know you. I know you're gonna be a huge help with this once we get it rolling too.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
This is gonna be a personal project for
Oh
you
yeah,
guys to
no,
see.
no, no, it is, man. It is because like you, there is it's the shift from like that's something nice to do to oh no, I have to do this.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
Fuck.
God put it on your tape. You're like, oh good, I want to eat this. He's like, no, you have to. And you're like, oh okay. No, I'm happy with doing it, but you're like, oh okay. No man, it's a cool thing to do, man. It's a good thing to do, and it's what a blessing to have like a meaningful fight. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, I mean, what a
Yeah.
blessing to have like a meaningful thing to go after. Be like,
Yeah.
guys who served committing suicide, we can prevent that. The suicide, the terror of doing it yourself, and the families are. I mean, a pretty. It's like a video game. It's like the evil red alien with horns. It's like, yeah, shoot him. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty
Right.
like
Right.
it's pretty. Yeah, this is pretty good, man. This is shut the up about it being difficult. Like
Right.
um, but yeah, no, it is worth it, and yeah, man, it really. I mean, on a personal note, man, it never goes away. It's been 11 years, 1 month, and 11 days. Not that I don't know that off the top of my head, but like it's always there, man. It's always it is worth it if you can prevent one.
Yeah.
It is. It never goes away, dude. It gets
No.
lighter. Gets you remember the good times. It never ends, and it's because, and you got to be careful with suicides and blaming yourself because then
Right.
ultimately suicide's a choice. My brother made a choice. And he's an
Right.
adult and he made a choice. That being said, there is always, incredibly, always a part of your mind that goes, well, what could I have done? I'm not saying it was my responsibility,
Yeah.
but
I hear
you do have to understand that there probably is something he could have done. And who knows? Maybe he just would have delayed it. But to
Right.
say, oh, it's not my fault, no, there's some, I could have been a better brother to a degree. And I don't let that like ruin my life. And like,
Right.
I'm like, no, no, no. But there's always, you could have done something. And the
Yeah.
something you could have done might have been that you did something, he still commits suicide. And then you go, I really did try.
Right.
You do have to, it's a noble, noble thing. And it's yeah, I mean, it ultimately comes down to yeah, it takes a green beret with a sack of mushrooms. Like, all right, this is
Because
unconventional.
why wouldn't it? Why
Yeah,
wouldn't
why
it?
wouldn't it?
It is.
Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it come down to like yeah, like some like Call of Duty like voiceover like the year's 2025 unconventional warfare is taken to it, and it's just like Clay with like quad nods on and a sack of mushrooms, and he's like, sit down.
I know what the numbers mean, Mason.
Yeah. What do numbers mean? Psilocybin, THC, benzene, no rings. It's just that's what it is. I mean, of course it would be. What the fuck else would it be? I mean, it's a simulate. It's a goddamn simulation, is what it is. All right. Well, Clay, as always, love you, brother. You're a good man. Thank you for doing this. And
Love you, brother.
yeah, be up tomorrow. Website. I'll put you in touch with those guys. It's a good thing to do. Get a fundraising thing so people can see tax write off, all that shit. Yeah, we'll make a dent in it. It's a good thing to do. You're a good man, Clay. Thank you for your time, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.